Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday. And thank you for joining us for the last day of August here as we're recording this. Now, you may be listening to it anytime, anywhere, because that is the beauty of on-demand radio. Yes, on-demand radio. You can listen to it whenever, wherever. It's crazy, isn't it, Jared? That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It is pretty crazy.
People are like, well, what time are you on? Always.
You know, speaking of what time
we still get that every once in a while. People are like, what time's your show? Come on. Always.
Some of you that pay close attention to our Facebook page know this already. But Alex and I, we were testing a live video feed to our Facebook page last week. And I believe it was last Thursday or last Friday. But some of you saw it. And it worked pretty well. You guys could actually comment as we were live recording, and we could talk about your comments live on the video. So I'm thinking that Dad and I are going to be doing that sometime in the near future. So make sure you follow our Facebook page at Student of the Gun.
At Student of the Gun. That's right. If you're not following our Facebook page, I don't know what else to tell you, but you say, I hate Facebook. Zuckerberg's a puke-faced scumbag. Okay, I'm with you. Then go ahead and follow us on gundistrict.com, the 100% gun-friendly social media. It's relatively new, not brand new, but pretty new. And we'd like for all of you to join us over there. So it's gundistrict.com. Once you get there, find the Student of the Gun page. You have to put in the words Student of the Gun. Actually, you don't even have to do that. If you go to the main page, if you go to the home page and you scroll either to the left or the right, you're going to see a little black icon that says Student of the Gun, and you click it, and then you like it and share it and comment and all that fun stuff. The fact is we want you guys to follow us because we can't always send out emails, and we're not always on the air. Now, we are always on the air, but I mean, we're not always producing. For instance, something happens in the middle of the week, and we comment about it, such as that piece of human filth in Roanoke, Virginia, or anything else. Well, often, if it's in between shows or it's the weekend, and we're updating, we're making comments, we're what have you, we're doing it via social media. That is the, it's kind of the, I don't know, it's the a necessary evil, I guess you could say, Jared. Does that sound right to you? Necessary evil? Yes, I understand that there's a lot of garbage on social media. I get that. But we used it as a tool to inform you and keep you up to date and entertained. And are you not entertained?
You know, it's funny. Speaking of that, one of our fans, when you posted the This is Sparta, or maybe I posted
No, you did. You did posted the This is Sparta.
I posted the This is Sparta thing. I think it was on the grad program, actually. And one of the dudes was like, well, there's where you messed up. There wasn't a pit of death.
There was no pit of doom. Yeah, no Spartan pit of doom there. So you should have included a Spartan pit of doom. Oh, Amy and Amy and David actually do have a dog because they posted a picture of their dog. You're like, well, what do you mean? But every time those two need to take off and go home, they're always like, oh, we gotta go home and take care of the dog. I'm like, is that what you're calling it now? They're like, no. Oh, we got to get going. We have to go home and take care of the dog. I was like, all right, whatever your code word is, we're all adults here. You can do whatever you want. But they put pictures of their dog up so we know that they're actually telling the truth. At very least, they do have a dog. Enough hilarity, or is there ever enough hilarity? It is Monday. It is a brand new week. We've got something that went down at the end of last week, and quite frankly, we already had all the stuff in the can and we were ready to go, and it kind of spiked on Friday, I guess, which is grad program day, and then we had a little bit more activity on Saturday. But we absolutely knew that we had to bring this story to you and talk about it today. Because when it comes to vagination awards and hurt feelings and whatnot, I think, dude, you need to send this guy.
Yeah,
he's probably going to like have his mail screen and stuff. You need to send that dude a Hurt Feelings kit. Who sent you the Hurt Feelings kits?
Dakota from Militia Armament.
MilitiaArmament.com.
Check them out. But Dakota sent us these
Hurt
little
Feelings
things. It's
kits.
called a Hurt Feelings kit. It's got one Band-Aid and one tampon.
It's got a Band-Aid, a tampon, and a little card in it that says,
I would really like to think that we inspired that product somehow, but I don't know. It's kind of funny that if any of you guys know DadScribe or how to send him something, let us know because I'll send him one.
He needs one. He definitely needs one. Or she, it. Is it okay? You should probably not.
Maybe that was Bruce Jenner.
Z.
Is he behind DadScribe?
Maybe it's Z.
Z. Yeah.
It's a gender neutral. I can't believe that being a good little liberal that he is, that he would use the male centric dad term. I think he would choose something like it or Z or something that's gender neutral, because that's just the way the world should be. But before we get into that, we have other stuff to talk about. And it is Monday. Because it is Monday, that means it's SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week Day. And Jared's got he's got a Warrior of the Week question. He's got it queued up, and we're going to play it. We're going to talk about it. But remember, if you guys want to be the Warrior of the Week, and you guys, congratulations, you're jumping in there. A lot of you guys, you folks are leaving excellent questions on or in the inbox, I guess you could call it, or the voicemail box. If you want to be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week and get yourself a free bottle of 9mm Plus P, you can call 682-207-7684, and 7684 also happens to be SOTG.
Or you can go to the Student of the Gun mobile app, and there's just it's 2 clicks away.
Yeah, that's right. It says
app,
contact, right?
Click on the Call Us tab, and then you click on the Warrior of the Week line, and it'll actually take you directly to the number to call.
That's right. Well, then they have to actually download the app on their iPhone or Android phone.
Yeah. And when you call, make sure you have your question rehearsed or written down so you can read it.
Yeah, rehearse it. Yeah, or write it down. That would be good. Do people know how to write things today?
Or text it. You can text it to yourself.
Yeah, and the Call Us button is right in the middle. And there's a little picture of a phone. So that'll help you out, just in case. All right. So your marching orders are A, go to the iTunes store and download the mobile app, or the Google Play Store. And B, once you've done that, give us a call and leave a message.
And then if I choose you, or if we choose you, we both choose it together. If we choose you to let you play your voice on the radio and you hear it, and after you're done running around the house screaming, give me an email. Actually, give Alex an email. Alex, ALEX, @studentofthegun.com. Include your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and your email typed in the body of that. It looked like you wanted to say something over there.
No, without further ado,
Hi, this is Ben Wagner from Lansdale, PA. What do you recommend for home defense ammo in 223 for an AR-15? I live in a single-family home, but in a suburban area, so I'm a little bit concerned about penetration. Thanks.
That is an excellent question, and we are all concerned about penetration. I know I am. I know Jared is. We think about penetration all the time. But when it comes to the 223 and the AR-15 or whatever, the over-penetration boogeyman has been lingering out there for decades and decades. And people are like, oh, man, I would never use a rifle as a home defense tool because of over-penetration. And here is the ballistic and scientific fact. A slow, heavy bullet, like, for instance, a 9mm bullet or a 45 ACP bullet or a 40 Smith & Wesson bullet, all of those will penetrate more than a 5.56. What? That can't be. But Paul, a 5.56 is a rifle, and so a rifle is going to penetrate more than a pistol. No, and here is why. The rifle bullet, the 5.56 223 bullet, is going really, really super fast, like 3,000 feet per second. or 2,900 feet per second, depending on what you've got there. So it's going to come apart much more rapidly than any handgun bullet ever would. You're like, and this isn't just me talking out of my rear end. We've done testing. We've done gelatin testing. We've witnessed numerous gelatin tests. Jared and I, we attended a testing by Spear. We attended testing conducted by Winchester, by Federal. All of them shot through window glass, shot through wallboard, shot through denim material, and so forth. And here is the deal. If you use a .223, the chances of it over-penetrating... Now, when you say over-penetrating, I'm assuming that you mean going through the bad guy, hitting the bad guy, passing through him, and continuing on. Now, the main caveat in that is green tip penetrator. Green tip penetrator ammo was designed during the Cold War specifically so that United States troops could shoot through Soviet, Russian body armor. That's why it's there. That's probably not going to be your big concern for home defense. You're probably not assuming that you're going to have to shoot Russian, Soviet soldiers coming through your front door. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Green tip is when it comes to .223 over penetrators or .556 over penetrators, the only, I guess, asterisk there or exception to that rule would be green tip. Now, your normal practice ammo, your normal 55 grain jacketed bullets, those are good to go. If you really want to get fancy, and let's face it, if you're just loading up one magazine of ammo as a home defense load, then go ahead and spend the money and get something from Hornady, get something from Winchester, Spear, Federal, what have you. The best ammunition for taking down human beings that I'm familiar with, that I've encountered, is the 77 grain BTHB, or what the Marine Corps and the Army, what the military calls the Mark 262. There's a lot of companies that sell it. Black Hills is probably one of the main people that sell it, but Federal does as well. It's the 77 grain. You're like, oh, but it's a heavy bullet. Yeah, I got that. Here's the deal. It puts bad people down like nobody's business. Being in the business that I am in, working with the people that I have worked with, and I'm not talking about radio and television, I'm talking about actual pipe-hitting people, I can tell you that when it comes to making bad people stop misbehaving with 5.56, that the Mark 262 is doing a fantastic job. The Marine Corps' got a load that's similar to that. They call it an OTM. I think it's a 60. I can't remember if it's a 65 grain. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Any kind of OTM ammunition that's open-tipped match. It's not a hollow point. It's an open-tip match for stability. Whatever you want to say, I don't care. Hornady makes a lot of really good ammunition as well. The TAP ammo for personal defense. So to answer your question, when it comes to over penetration with a 5.56, as long as you load up the right ammo, as long as you're not using green tip, and you're planning on actually shooting the bad guy. Now, everything will go through wallboard. A 25 ACP will go right through wallboard. So don't think, well, I can get a certain load and it won't pass through an interior wall. No, there's pretty much no load. Like if a 25 ACP will go through an interior wall, everything else will. Just as a quick aside, I've actually had this conversation. We've been hearing this nonsense for years and years and years and years. And I actually had somebody tell me at a gun show that they love the AR-15, platform, but they would never use a .223 for home defense. Instead, they went ahead and bought themselves a 40 Smith & Wesson version of an AR because, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude... And you're going to load it with 180 grain 40 Smith & Wessons, and that crap is going to sail right through the bad guy, right through the wallboard, right through everything. The 180 grain 40s are big-time over-penetrators, or passers through, I guess you could say. So, yes, the answer is buy quality .223, stay away from green tip, and put your rounds where they should be, and you should be just fine. And thank you very much for that question. Make sure that you're sending Alex your email so that you can get your 9mm plus P.
And in the future, if you guys have any questions and you want to post them on the Facebook page, it might be a question that we want to pick for the Warrior of the Week. So call into the Warrior of the Week line and leave your question there as well.
There you go. What else? All right, folks, this is something that we've talked about previously, about the media and how the media is disingenuous. Before we get into that, you know what we should do, Jared? Because I know this is going to take me down a path, an ugly path, and I'm going to be angry about it and upset. But
that's okay. It'll be better when we get into the meat.
Before that, I want to thank Frog Lube, froglube.com. It just works. Check those guys out. I want to thank Century Arms. We already told you last week, right? That we, or did we just tell the grad program members? I can't remember. Our C39 RPK, I checked the tracking number, and it's supposed to be in our hot little hands next week, which means we need to schedule a range day to get out and seriously burn some ammo through that sucker.
Wait, what? What did you say?
The C39 RPK from Century.
Oh, it's here?
No, it's not here. It's on its way.
On its way.
It's on its way.
Sorry, I was over here doing
stuff. I checked the FedEx tracking number, and it should be here Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest.
Dina sent one for me, too, right?
No, she sent one.
One?
Don't be greedy.
Oh, okay. You're right.
And so that's coming. Check those guys out at centuryarms.com and make sure that you said, well, I'm thinking about getting one of those TP9 pistols, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Quit vacillating. Just get one. And when you do, make sure you save the receipt, because you can go to centuryarms.com and they've got a rebate program going. So not only are you going to basically buy a duty-sized 9mm duty quality pistol for a ridiculously low price on the face of it, then you're going to go ahead and get your rebate and save yourself even more money. So it's like getting 2 boxes of practice ammo for free, or 100 rounds of practice ammo. Yeah, if you go to Walmart, you can get 100 rounds of Federal Full Metal Jacket practice ammo for like $24.95. So you get a $25 rebate, bam, it's like 100 free rounds of ammo. I don't know how you could do any better than that. I don't know what else to tell you. Duracoat. Duracoat's can technology. If you're not checking out Duracoat, if you're not going to Lauer Weaponry, folks, let me hit you up real quick. And this is what I just thought of, Jared. Jared has been working hard, and we told you it was coming. Well, it's here. Redesigning the studentofthegun.com main website. Studentofthegun.com. Studentofthegun.com.
Studentofthegun.com.
Go there. On the main page, there's a little orange tab that says, free videos, training videos, 7 videos that could save your life. Free training videos.
Tips.
Free training tips. And if you haven't signed up for those yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but do it. And when you go there, you can access everything. You can access the blog page, you can access the store, you can access the radio page, and you can also access the sponsor page for Student of the Gun TV. You're like, whoa, Student of the Gun TV, you have that? Yeah, we do have that. So go to studentofthegun.com and check out all of the work that Jared has put in on building a new face for that, and we hope that you appreciate it. If you haven't gone lately, you're wrong. Fix yourself. And one of the sponsors of Student of the Gun TV is Duracoat. And we put pictures of Duracoated guns and all the cool stuff that they have. But you can, Jared put the hyperlinks in to our TV sponsors, so you can just click directly and go there.
I was going to say something, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Because it had to do with something you said, but, okay.
This story that I'm about to discuss, it took place over the weekend. And I know a lot of you folks are on the weekend, you're just doing stuff, and you're living your life, so you don't know about it. What?
I was going to tell them that I used some of the reviews that you guys posted on the radio review page on iTunes and stuff like that on the Student of the Gun homepage. So your review might be there. Go check it out.
Oh, thank you. Thank them. Thank everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. All right. What have we told you? 2 things. I told you that that Comrade Barry and his minions up there in D.C., that they might just as well go on television and say, kill Whitey. Whoa, you can't say, whoa, slow down, Paul. I don't care if you're listening to me right now. I don't care if you're black, white, orange, red, pink, purple. If you're a man or a woman or you're not sure yet what exactly you are, I don't care. In the United States of America today, we have an administration that is fostering racism, that is fostering division amongst the people. How can you say that? Based on 6-7 years of history? Based on the fact that I'm paying attention? Based upon the fact that we have a media that is 100% in the tank for the administration, that essentially become a cheerleading organization for the left and the progressive state? And we pointed this out many times, how all of a sudden facts have become racist. And you can't point out the facts if they, let's say, reflect poorly upon a certain group of people. Now, other people in America, screw them. The media had a collective orgasm when Dylan, the puke face in South Carolina, they're like, finally, we have a white guy who we can tie to racism because he owned a Confederate flag. We've got him, and we're never going to let that go. That's proof that America is racist. Yeah, okay. So here we have in Houston a deputy who's filling up his car. This comes to us from WHIO Houston. Deputy shot dead while filling tank at gas station near Houston. I'm going to just read the story to you. Dateline, Houston, Texas. A sheriff's deputy was filling up the tank in his patrol car and was gunned down by an unknown assailant who walked up behind him and shot him multiple times. This was an assassination. This wasn't a robbery. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was an assassination. Harris County Deputy Sheriff's Office Deputy Thomas Gilliland said that the gunman walked up behind uniformed Deputy Darren Goforth, 47, and shot him repeatedly. After the deputy fell to the ground, the gunman stood over him and shot him again multiple times. Witnesses said the assailant... Now check this out. This is the story from WHIO.com. They have surveillance photo of the shooter. You can see if you go to if you go to the story, you can see the color photo of the murderer, of the assassin. This is what they wrote. It said the assailant, a male about 5 feet 11 inches tall, had a dark complexion, and he fled in a red Ford Ranger pickup truck. A dark complexion? Like he was tanned, or he might have been Mexican? No. You can see, I'm sorry, but you can see in the photo, this is a, whatever you want to refer to, people of color today in the United States. As I've grown, this is something bizarre. And if you are a person of color listening to me, ask yourself this: why is it that it changes every generation? When I was growing up, people of color referred to themselves as black folks or black people, right? And then that changed, and you couldn't say that anymore. Now you can't say that, but we still have Black History Month. How do we have Black History Month in America, but you can't refer to an assailant as a black man? Now, I understand that they're not actually black, that they have different levels of skin pigment. I understand how that works. Jared, do you know how that can that be? How is it that we have Black History Month, but if you and I say that guy standing right there is a black man, you're a racist and you're not allowed to say that?
I don't know.
It's confusing to me.
I was trying to dissect the reason, but it just I got the stupidity blocked my thoughts.
Here, the color photograph from the surveillance camera shows a black man approximately 6 feet tall with a white T-shirt, dark shorts, tennis shoes.
Why has it got to be a colored photograph? Now you're getting racist.
Okay, yeah, a full color photograph. At least they added with a dark complexion. They couldn't bring themselves to use the politically correct term African American male. And why do you suppose that is? I don't know. Why do you suppose in the United States of America today that we have people that are assassinating police officers at gas stations? Could it be because your government, because the administration is fostering division and hatred? Because every time...
I was going to say Al Sharpton.
And you can't... The Roanoke murders, the double homicide in Roanoke, I want to know when we're going to ban the rainbow flag as a symbol of hatred and division in America. And isn't it time? Stop it. Did you see the?
Yeah.
You saw the Twitter thing? Like, we need to focus on the actions of individuals, not on symbols.
Sure.
Really? We need to focus on the actions of individuals, not on symbols. A person wrote out, or like, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. You know, the whole, like, let's ban the rainbow flag. But really, is it tongue-in-cheek? Or can we demand that? Oh, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. That's like saying that everybody who has a rainbow flag is a murderer. Oh, is that like saying everyone who has a Confederate flag is a murderer? You had no problem taking that leap. You had no problem drawing that conclusion. Well, because... Well, it's good for certain people, but not good for other people. I mean, yeah, come on, America. Get your crap together. Folks, it is not a good day. It is not a good time to be an American. And I tell you, I wore, like I said, I wore the badge for 17 years.
No. You said that wrong.
What?
It's always a good time to be an American. It is a bad time to live in America.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I can tell you this, that this kind of nonsense is going to force greater division between the people and law enforcement. And it's going to make... If I was a cop right now, I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. Every person that approached me, I would view as a potential killer. You don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. But how can you not? When you have an administration and scores... battalions of water carriers and minions in the media, in the administration, everywhere, that every time an evil person does an evil thing, they look at them first to determine what their skin color is. And if their skin color is one color, then they get a pass, or they get made excuses for. And if it's not, then they don't. This isn't Paul Markle making this up. It's a fact. When you have a grand jury and an investigation, a federal investigation, a state investigation, a local investigation in Ferguson, Missouri, everyone who investigated and actually examined the facts of the case, not the emotions, but the facts of the case, said that it was a clear-cut case of self-defense by a police officer against a thug. A thug with a long criminal record that we're not supposed to talk about. But 1 year later, on the anniversary of the death of the thug, what does CNN, MSNBC, the AP, Reuters, what do they all do? On the anniversary of a white police officer shooting an unarmed black teen. Yeah. Apparently, Reuters, AP, MSNBC, CNN, apparently none of them had access to the information that... No, he was not indicted, not charged, not convicted because it was a justifiable homicide. It was a justifiable shooting. But they can't let that go. They can't let the facts interrupt their narrative. Why do you suppose that news agencies or pseudo-news agencies or the cheerleaders for the administration, why do they write stories that say things like, on the anniversary of the day that a white police officer shot a black teen, an unarmed black teen? Why would you do that if you're not trying to create racial division in the United States of America? If you're not trying to say to one group of people, well, no matter what you do, oh, you want to kill a police officer? You want to beat a police officer? Oh, well, yeah, we would recommend against that. However, if you do that, we've got your back. We had a teen, a thug, a reprobate a piece of human scum who was just going to grow bigger and become a career criminal. No, he wasn't going to college and he wasn't a good boy. He was a bad boy. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in the United States. The narrative is, if you have a certain skin tone, then you're a victim. We need to create groups of victims, because groups of victims are easily manipulated. Victim groups can be manipulated. Are you tired of being manipulated? Are you tired of being put into a victim group? I'm a little bit tired of it. I'm a little bit sick of it. But we've witnessed what happens when you have an administration, when you have a government, when you have a clear-cut plan to encourage people to become part of an aggrieved victim group. We saw it in Roanoke. That guy was set up as the perfect victim. Nothing was ever his fault. And I'm going to give a quick aside because I've been waiting to do this. Some of you guys out there in the audience have said in the Facebook, they're like, this guy in Roanoke, the excrement, as we refer to him, bought a gun after the he said on his diatribe and in his freaking manifesto that when the Charleston thing went down, he knew that he had to buy a gun and he was going to make people pay for their racism and for their blah 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 blah. And some of you folks have said that the gun dealer was at fault, that the gun dealer shouldn't have sold him the gun, because they're like, well, there's a flag right there. Somebody buying a gun, their first gun ever at age 41, they should have known. They should have known. And actually, somebody wrote, you know that a gun dealer can refuse to sell they have the right to refuse to sell a gun to anyone they want to. They don't have to sell anyone a gun. If they think something stinks, they can refuse to sell a gun. And what I say to you is, are you freaking kidding me? This is in the United States of America in 2015. Imagine this. You own Jimbo's Gun Shop, or you are the manager of an Academy Outdoors, or whatever. And a gay black man walks up, shows you his license, and tells you he wants to buy a handgun. And so you, on the other side of the counter, you do the paperwork, you run everything through, and you make the phone call. And the anonymous person on the other side of the phone says, yes, you may sell this gun to this person. But you're still thinking, I don't know, there's something hinky about this guy. So you make the call and you say, I'm sorry there, fellow, I'm not going to sell you this gun. Really? You're going to refuse service to a gay black Obama voter in 2015? No, you're not, because you're terrified of being labeled a racist, a bigot, or a homophobe. You're more afraid of being labeled a racist than you are of being killed. In the United States of America today, people make decisions not on their own personal safety, but upon whether or not they will be labeled as a racist. Jared, look at the guy that just got the crap beat out, the officer who just got the crap beat out of him, didn't draw his gun because the person who was attacking him was a different skin color. And he said, oh, I knew that if I drew my gun, then I would instantly be labeled a racist. We have people that are making decisions not upon logic, not upon safety, but upon whether or not they will be called a racist and they will be labeled why shouldn't they? If the media sniffs out that there's even a hint that you may have been disrespectful to a gay black man, they'll destroy you. They'll destroy your business. Oh, you're a Christian and you think that homosexual marriage is an abomination before the Lord and you won't service that? Oh, we're going to destroy you. We're going to take you to court and a federal judge is going to destroy you. So tell me in America in 2015 how a gun dealer, after doing the paperwork and being told by the person on the other end of the phone that it's okay to sell a gun to this guy. Tell me how any gun dealer in America is going to look across the counter at a gay black Obama voter and tell him, I'm sorry, but I'm not selling you this gun. Tell me how that's going to happen. Like, well, they should have. Shut up. It's not the gun dealer's fault. There's no way in America today, because if you do, this guy, tell me that if, let's just say, let's hypothesize that the gun dealer tells this excrement, I'm not selling you this gun. Excrement has ACLU lawyers on speed dial. Excrement is a professional victim. Nothing's ever his fault. It's not because he's not good at his job. It's not because he's abrasive and nasty and nobody wants to be around him because of his attitude. No. It's because he's a gay black man. He's a gay black Democrat Obama voter. That's why nobody likes him. Because everyone's against him, because everyone's a racist but him. So tell me in America how you're not going to sell a gun to that guy. Yes, you are. Because you're terrified that if you don't, he's going to speed dial the ACLU, and by the time you know it, your business will be destroyed. The local news media will be on, oh, are you a racist? Are you a homophobe? You're a bigot. Why wouldn't you sell a gun to this man? Oh, you're like, man, you're absolutely 100% right, Paul. Yes, I know. I don't like being right in that regard, but I am. And it makes me, I think, like I said, Jared's over there. He's like, when somebody posts something on the social media, like, that gun dealer should have never sold him that gun. They should have known better. Really?
Let me know how that works for you.
Yeah, let me know how that works. It was you. Try refusing service, to a gay black man in America today and see how far you get. Oh, that's right. You wouldn't, because you're terrified that the media... Today in the United States of America, it is worse to be a racist than it is to be a murderer. The worst thing you can possibly be is an intolerant, bigot, homophobe. You could be a drug dealer. You can sell heroin to children, and people will make excuses for you. You can murder a police officer, and people will make excuses for you. CNN will turn you into a hero, into a martyr. MSNBC will make you a martyr if you kill a police officer in America, as long as your skin's darker than theirs. If your skin's not darker than theirs, it doesn't work that way. But if you refuse service to someone, if you can be accused of racism or bigotry or homophobia, that is the worst thing in America you can be. And I've been saying it for years, and it's gotten worse because we haven't corrected it. No one said, whoa, stop. It's time for the adults to take charge. All of you crybabies and whiners, no, we're not listening to you anymore. It's time for the adults to be in charge, and we're not going to listen to your crap. But apparently, in the United States of America today, in 2015, there are not nearly enough adults to stand up and say, no, I'm not, no. Because even the people on our side are like, well, I mean, do we really need a Confederate flag? I mean, what's the harm in removing the Confederate flag or the Gadsden flag or the American flag or folks, you better grab your nuts. You better look down between your legs and see what's there. And you know what's sad, Jared? Is that the women in the Student of the Gun audience have more huevos and cojones than most of the American male population.
Yeah. I would say, speaking of crybabies and whiners, isn't that the theme of today's episode?
Absolutely. But before we do that, we're going to thank our buddies at Velocity Triggers. Designed for precision. Check those guys out at velocitytriggers.com.
Hey, while you're doing that, will you drop in the link to that I can actually get to the story? Into the show notes.
I didn't?
No.
The Daily Caller one.
Yeah.
Type in, here's what I want you to do, because I'm talking to the folks. Type in Dadscribe and Daily Caller, and it'll come up. An NRA gun decal or something like that. No, you cannot. We do not have a crossbreed holster for our RPK. No, I do not have a crossbreed holster for the 40 millimeter Bofors gun. And did you guys like that picture of me sitting on the deck of the USS Kidd? If you guys are in, around, or near Baton Rouge, or in, around, or near Mobile, or in, or around, or near New Orleans, do me a favor, or do yourself a favor. Take your family, take your kids, take your significant other, and visit one of these war memorials, museums, World War II museum, the Kidd, the battleship, Alabama. Folks, if you don't support these, they're going to go away. And you're like, oh, come on, they're there. No, I was talking to the main tour guy, the one who was like in charge of the tour for the Kidd, and he was telling me how there was another World War II ship. I can't remember the name of it, but they actually had sold it for scrap. It was a museum, but they weren't bringing in enough money to maintain it, to keep it open, so they just sold it for scrap and closed it. If you want that history, those memorials of history to stay active and to be around for your kids and your grandkids, I'm telling you, you need to get over there. And wherever you are, I know in Virginia Beach, I think it's the it might be the USS Virginia. There's a battleship there. Of course, there's one in New York. The Intrepid is in New York. Is the Intrepid still open? I don't know. The Intrepid was there when I was in New York 20 years ago. But like right here on the Gulf Coast, you can go to Baton Rouge. Well, Baton Rouge isn't on the Gulf Coast, on the Mississippi coast. But and when I say the coast, I mean the river. But the World War II Museum in New Orleans, actually, if you want to be honest, probably one of the few genuine redeeming qualities or redeeming aspects of the city of New Orleans is the fact that it has the National World War II Museum in it. And it's something to see. You need to take, if you are anywhere near or around New Orleans, I would highly recommend that you take your family and you go to that and take them and allow them to appreciate the men and women who gave everything so that you could do what you do every day, so you could get up every day and go and live your life. Mobile, same thing. The USS Alabama is fantastic. We actually filmed on the USS Alabama for season 3. And then there's also a museum there as well. So wherever you happen to be in the world, if you have the opportunity to visit one of these museums, whether it's a World War II museum, Vietnam War, Korean, whatever, do it. Take the time to do it. Support these people, because if you don't support them, they're going to go away. And let's face it, most Americans are just like, they're just oxygen thieves. They're just sucking up oxygen. So did you find it, Jared? You got
it? I found it. It's actually, what they did is they went to the Google cache, because his site is now locked. So they went to a cached version of his site and got this.
Go ahead and drop that in my show notes so I can open it too. Okay.
It's there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main topic of today's show. And Jared, we have to we got to bump it in with the theme song. We have to.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, I know this is a family-friendly episode, and I know some of you listen to it with your kids, and sometimes you might have to explain to your kids what Professor Paul is saying. But this story is so vag-tastic, it defies the imagination. This story was written the day of, or right after, the Roanoke double homicides. The assassination-style murders that were committed by a homosexual black Obama voter, not a white conservative NRA member, no, a left-leaning, professional, lifelong, perfect victim. But you would think, reading this story, that the murderer in Roanoke would have been a white conservative Republican NRA Tea Party member. There's a person out there who calls himself the Dad Scribe. And one of you folks out there shared this with us. And according to Dad Scribe's website, that he's been featured on the Huffington Post. That he's been featured on the Today Show. He actually apparently speaks. He's the Good Men Project and so forth. So, and he's a good little leftist. And this is what he wrote on his little blog. And it says, what your NRA decal says about you. And it's and of course he's at the top of it. You notice he added a disclaimer. That disclaimer wasn't there, Jared, when he first put it up, but he's changed his tune just a little bit and put a disclaimer on it. But it says, quote, I see the NRA decal on the rear window of your car and my eyes narrow. I look at the back of your head in the driver's seat and I wonder if you're a threat to my children, a threat to me, a threat to society. I see a news report about the latest shooting deaths in the United States. Those would be called murders. I brace myself for NRA talking points on social media. I try not to read them. I fail at that. I am appalled and saddened and sickened and angry. I'm reminded why I consider you a potential threat. Remember, you is the person with an NRA sticker. By displaying that NRA decal in the rear window of your car, that represents, to me, the NRA decal in the rear window of your car represents violent death. By displaying the NRA decal on the rear window of your car, you are endorsing violent death. By endorsing violent death, you show me that you do not care about the tens of thousands of gun deaths.
I didn't know that many guns died.
I was going to say, can a gun die? I thought you could, like, guns, well, they can rust, but I didn't know if a gun could die. Tens of thousands of gun deaths in the United States every year. You don't care about the gun deaths at Columbine. I didn't know any guns died at Columbine. I thought humans died. I thought evil humans committed murder, but I must be wrong. You don't care about the gun deaths at Virginia Tech. You don't care about the gun deaths at Tucson. And it goes on and on and on and on and blah, 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 blah. And you're a freaking homosexual. You're a scumbag. No, you give homosexuals a bad name. I'm sure there are homosexuals in the audience who are like, hey, don't link this guy in with us. That's like our one acquaintance friend said, that's gay and not the good kind either. That's totally gay and not the good kind either. That's like Elton John read this story and said, dude, you're gay. So we shared this with you, the Student of the Gun audience, via the Student of the Gun Facebook page. And so I knew that this guy was getting the Vagination Award. I knew this guy was getting the Vagination Award immediately. And this all took place, like I said, it began the day of the Roanoke double homicide, the assassination by the gay Obama voter of two innocent Caucasian people. And you know that guy said that he wrote that the initials of the victims of Charleston were on his bullets as he killed the Caucasian reporter and her cameraman. You guys know that? Or has that been scrubbed so that you can't know it now? So we shared this, and some of the comments that you folks left, now some of the comments cannot be said.
Can you see any of them?
No. The comments on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. I would say because at the bottom of his thing, it says, update, 10:20 p.m. I took down the comments and won't be approving anymore for this post.
Oh, yeah. He first this guy, and his name is Carter Gaddis. And Carter Gaddis also wrote an article about how he refuses to allow his sons. I don't know how he has sons. Apparently he has a really fertile mailman. He will not allow his sons to participate in Nerf gun battles. He wrote a whole article about the evils of Nerf guns. Whew. Wow! Woo! But some of the comments that you folks left on the Student of the Gun Facebook page are really precious. And I wanted to I'm trying to go all the way back to the beginning because there's 388 comments that are there. Oh, Jared, can you...
Wait, you're talking about the thing over here that says honored
No.
on the side? No, I meant earlier. That's the WordPress symbol. That's not Washington Post.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not an idiot. I didn't say Washington Post. I said Huffington Post.
Oh, Huffington Post.
Thank you. I know what the WordPress symbols... I said was featured on the Huffington Post. You need to listen louder. The Today Show, The Life of Dad, The Good Man Project. Yeah. So, first, the bold Mr. Gaddis, who refers to himself as Dad Scribe, like I said, I don't know how he's using a gender-specific term like dad. Shouldn't he be using like Z or something gender-neutral? First, he took down the comments. He blocked all the comments. He did that first. And then we go to record the show, and we find out that not only that, but his blog is now private.
Yeah.
He shut it down and you can't view it, but he's not really, like Jared said, he's not really internet and web browser savvy, because the Daily Caller did an article, and I'm going to open that story up right now. You guys don't mind me talking about this, do you? Now, you didn't link the Daily Caller story in, did you, Jared? I need the Daily Caller story.
I thought I did that.
Nope, it's not there. When you click the link, it goes directly to his story.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it did. That's crazy.
Oh, here we go. We got a meme that says, "Ask your doctor if suicide is right for you." I'm no gynecologist, but I know.
There now.
But I know a C word when I see one. You're welcome for me cleaning it up. One person wrote that his story was, quote, weapons-grade douchebaggery. I love that. By the way, guys, loser is Loser, and looser, as in not tight, is Looser.
Yeah.
Oh, my sweet heavenly Lord. There's some... I'm trying to think of some more good ones here. I don't always give up my guns, but when I do, it's from my cold dead hands. That's kind of a common one. Oh, my Lord in heaven! But you guys had a lot of fun with this, and several people wrote in. They're like, I don't really even care about this story. I'm just here to read the comments. I'm just here to read the comments on Facebook. Oh, yeah, I love that. See, I told her that guns make me uncomfortable. She said we should see other men. We should both see other men. And then, of course, there are the normal ones. But did you get the Daily Caller story up?
Yeah, I put it in there.
Okay. Yeah, the Daily Caller found this, and let me see who wrote a review on the Daily Caller. They basically did my job for me, so I don't have to do it now. I was threatening to write about this, but while I was doing other things. Come on, scroll down there, hippie.
It's kind of cool. It's basically their take on it. It says...
Deputy Matt is the guy who wrote this. The author of this is Deputy Matt. And it says, what you're whining about my NRA sticker says about you. You want to read a little bit of that?
Yeah, I could do that. It says, when I read a blog post... and it gives a link. When I read a blog post that can... First of all, they need to type. But when I read a blog post that, by a confused beta male... I'm sure he meant to say that was written by a confused beta male, in which he describes all the thoughts and fears running through his head the moment he sees my NRA sticker on my back window of my car or my wife's minivan. I feel sad for his two sons who look to this man, in quotations, as their role model. And it says that you, the author, fear the driver of the car because of his sticker and are thus trapped in a recurring series of thoughts and fears based on lies and misinformation. Has you so distracted as a driver that you are now a threat to yourself, a threat to any passengers in your car, a threat to all the other drivers sharing the roadway with you, and a threat to any pedestrians who happen to be nearby. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and he says, when nothing more than the appearance of a sticker on the rear end of a car sends you into such fear that someone... Does that say something about the person with the sticker or the person who fears it? The sad fact of the matter is those who fear are all those fears he has listed, which he not only feels himself, but has helped spread by sharing his wussified musings. Absolutely none of those are remotely based upon reality. And of course, that is true. It is not based on any kind of reality. It is based upon perception. It is based upon propaganda, and it is based upon lies. And that is why we pointed this out. A lot of you guys are like, how come you're giving this guy notoriety? You need to not do that. Don't talk about him. No, folks, you can't defeat your enemy by pretending they don't exist. You cannot defeat your enemy by ignoring them. Bullies are not defeated because you choose to ignore them. Bullies are not going to stop because you'd ignored them. You think the bully says, oh, that guy's ignoring me, I'm not going to be a bully anymore. No, that's not how it works. Now, I'm not saying to turn these people into folk heroes like excrement, and you notice that when people commit atrocities, we at Student of the Gun have never given those people notoriety. We're not CNN or Reuters where they turn these guys into folk heroes. Excrement from our story from Roanoke, did you guys see the research that he viewed the Virginia Tech shooter as a hero? Yeah. The Virginia Tech murderer, Excrement, viewed him as a hero, as a role model. Why do you suppose Excrement was so familiar with the case? Well, because, CNN, MSNBC, et al., they nonstop talk about these people and use their names and turn them into little folk heroes, give them their 15 minutes of fame. But I digress. So the reason that we point this stuff out is because you need to be aware of it. And you're like, this guy's obviously a tool. He's obviously a scared little girly man. And who cares? Well, the fact is, this guy is out there, and apparently at some point in time, because he is a good little progressive weenie, other progressive weenies like the Huffington Post and the Today Show and whatever, they're giving this guy an audience. They're giving him a voice. They're putting him forward as the voice of reason in the gun debate. You need to understand.
There is no debate to be had.
Yeah, you need to understand that words mean things. And when these leftists and progressives say things like gun deaths, what they're doing is they're excusing the human monsters that committed the atrocities and instead placing the blame on the object and de facto any person who would desire to own that object, which is you. You should be insulted and angered because what this guy is saying is the Roanoke homicides, the Charleston homicides, the Columbine homicides, those aren't the fault of the monsters that actually committed the murders. No. They're not to blame. What Dad Scribe is saying with his little musings here, his little whining, his liberal whining, is that really the people that are to blame for the murders in America are law-abiding gun owners who may also be members of the NRA. That would be you. You should be a little bit insulted by that. You should be a little bit offended by that. Yeah, you should. When a liberal puke-faced scumbag excuses the actions of a monster, of a murderer, and instead places the blame on you, that had a person that had nothing to do with it, that is living your life following the law, you should be angry. And apparently a lot of you are, because not only did this ninny, this weenie, not only did he block comments almost immediately, then he made his blog private, so apparently only those who know how to use the internet could find it and read it, which took us all of, 60 seconds to find it after he blocked it. So let me give you a look into the mind of this man-child, this metrosexual vagination award winner. So his Twitter page on August 26, he reposts or he links his story. What your NRA decal says about you. Story by Dad Scribe. Then on the 27th, he writes in bold, well done, gun zealots. You're proving my point for me. Then on the 28th, he writes, for the record, I do not consider responsible gun owners inherently dangerous. I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti-gun massacre. And then on the 28th, he writes some stupid thing about how I'm thinking about Star Wars and what Han Solo taught me about being a dad. You're such a freaking badge. You're like, well, what are you saying, Paul, that we shouldn't allow these badges to talk? No, they can talk all they want. Just understand that they're spreading propaganda and lies, and they're trying to convince the great unwashed masses that somehow you, as an NRA member and a gun owner, are responsible for murders and homicides in America. Not the monsters that actually committed them, because we can't hold them responsible for their behavior. We're going to hold you, the innocent NRA member, you're going to be held responsible for the actions of monsters, because you won't accept reasonable gun control and more restrictions. Yep. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. And if you want to read the comments, and folks, I'm going to admit something to you. I was laughing my butt off. I was in the family room reading the comments on my phone, and Miss Nancy's like, "What are you doing? What are you laughing at in there?" I'm like, "I can't help it. Some of this stuff is really funny." All right, we will be back and talk to you tomorrow. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.